Phone versus camera, which is better to take photos with? Answery bit plus a bit. Hi, Rick here, creator and indeed all things at the splendid Photography Explained podcast. Right then, I'm going to tell you what the Answery bit is here. Bear with, I need to scroll up a bit. Here is the Answery bit. Cameras are of course designed to take high quality photos, and phone cameras have improved so much that they are a credible alternative to cameras. But which is better to take photos with? A digital camera or a phone? Is one better than the other, or is there a place for both? And that's what I talk about in episode 181, and there's quite a few things that I go through here. There's a million and one things I could have talked about, but I wanted to pick out the main things, and those main things are image quality. You can get higher quality images with a camera than you can with a phone. Yep, I've just gone for it there. I've come out with that statement. I'm happy to defend it. I know people won't agree, but that's fine. That's the first point. Next one, sensor technology and size. Generally, the larger the sensor, the more data you capture, resulting in higher quality images. And cameras, of course, have larger sensors than phones. But having said that, smartphone camera sensors are pretty amazing too. Then I go on a bit about computational photography, the tech advances, what's happening, and how comfortable are we with all this stuff being done for us. I'm not talking AI, I'm talking my iPhone's got a 48 megapixel camera. My Canon 6D's got a 20 megapixel camera. Now, my iPhone, it has to do something with all those pixels to make a cohesive image. So it's not taking more than double the number of pixels. It doesn't work like that because there's other stuff happening, and that can affect images. I'm not saying it always does, but it can do. So do you want the tech to do all these things for you, or do you want to capture the highest quality base data you can and do all the work yourself? A lot of people will say, not interested, don't care. I'm not one of them people. But then again, I'm sat there in a different position to somebody who just uses a phone. And that's the point of all of this, isn't it? Size and weight. Yes, a phone's more convenient. But handling. I don't like taking photos with my phone. I just don't. I don't enjoy it. I love taking photos with my camera. I know I'm such a stick in the mud, aren't I? Photos and videos. Well, I've taken well over 50,000 photos with my Canon 6D and one video, but I've made thousands of videos using my phone. This is the recurring theme that I will cover off at the end of the episode. Immediacy. Do you need your photos immediately? Do you need them right away? Do you have to share them instantly? I don't. Doesn't matter to me. That's why I'm fine with a camera. Computational photography. Again, do you want computers dictating the creation of your photos, or do you want to take the highest quality raw base data and make that into the photo of your creating? I want to do that myself, and there's a reason for this. I want to decide the range of lights and darks in a photo. I want to decide how my photos look. I need every photo in a set to look consistent, and I need that set of photos to look as consistent as the last set. I need consistency across shoots from days, weeks, months, years apart. And I'm not going to get that if the tech's doing all the stuff for me, because it changes over time. So I want that control. And I'm not talking manual mode. I'm not talking just using manual mode. I'm talking having an awareness of what I'm taking photos of and how I'm doing it and the camera settings that are being used. Photography genres. There are some genres which are better suited for phone photography than with cameras. Low light photography. Phones used to be rubbish in low light photography. They're much, much better now. But to be better with such a small sensor, stuff's being done to photos. And again, if I'm taking a photo in low light, I want to do it the old school way with a long shutter speed and a correct exposure. But I'm doing it myself again. Right, photography gear. Do you like photography gear, or are you happy with the phone? There's an argument each way, isn't there? Of course there is. And if you just use a phone to take photos, what do you think when you see somebody with a camera, lenses, bag and everything? I'd love to know what you think. Let me know. As for me, my gear is the tools that I use to create photos, and every piece of gear I own these days has a use. I don't have much gear, but the gear I have is the stuff that I need and use. And without that gear, I can't get the photos that I need. And that's one of the reasons why I cannot get the photos that I need with a phone. I need other things. Okay, taking photos bit. I've said this more than once. I've got an iPhone 15 Pro. It's an amazing phone with an amazing camera. But I don't like taking photos with it anywhere near as much as I do with my Canon 6D. And I don't see that changing. The experience is completely different and much more enjoyable with my camera and lens. See, we use our phones so much these days. I get a bit sick of mine. So when I'm taking photos with my camera, it's an absolute pleasure. I'm doing the thing I love to do with my gear. And I don't see that changing. Can you get photos that are good enough with a phone? That's a question for you. If your photos with your phone are good enough, why do you need a camera? Right, the talky bit, not going to go on to that now. I'm going to extract that bit out and publish it in a separate video. So I think I am going to stop there. That was the Answery bit. I've talked around the edges of some of the stuff. There's lots more in the episode, so check out episode 181 at all good podcast providers. The title, Phone versus Camera, which is better to take photos with, ? And also check out the podcast website, photographyexplainedpodcast.com, where there's a form you can fill in and you can get a weekly email from me. How utterly splendid. Yes, a weekly email from me to you, 3 p.m, time where I'm sat every Friday. Okay, with that, I'm going to say thank you for watching. Take care, stay safe. Cheers from me, Rick.